woman walks into a personal development seminar one evening, planning to end her life. She has a bottle of pills in her bathroom cabinet at home. She has already done the math. The only reason she is at the seminar is because her mother mailed her the ticket, and because she has decided to give herself one last reason to stay. By the end of this video, you are going to know what saved her, and it is not what you are expecting. The book is called The 5 a.m. Club. It was written by Robin Sharma, who has spent 30 years coaching Fortune 100 CEOs, Olympic athletes, and musicians whose names you would recognize. The title sounds like a productivity book. Wake up at 5, elevate your life. And if you read the first page of any summary of it online, that is the impression you will walk away with. But that is not actually what the book is about. And the woman in the bedroom, who has no name in the story, who is only ever called the entrepreneur, is the reason. Her bedroom is white. White walls, white sheets, an oak dresser. On the dresser sits a bottle of sleeping pills her doctor prescribed when her panic attacks got bad last year. Next to the pills, a conference ticket. She is 37. She founded a technology company in her dorm room. She took it public before 30, and 6 months ago, her board began a quiet coup to remove her from the company she built. The part that is killing her is not the money. It is that she does not know who she is without the thing she built. She has no hobbies. She has no husband. Her friends are investors. Her therapist is on retainer and writes more prescriptions than insights. She looks at the pills, she looks at the ticket, and she makes a calculation that is so cold and so simple that she almost laughs. Either she goes to the seminar tonight and something happens, or she takes the pills when she gets home. She gives it one last chance, not because she believes in it, because she has nothing left to lose. 2 hours later, she is sitting in a conference hall, arms folded, wearing the armor of a woman who wants the world to know she is not here because she needs to be. Next to her, by accident of seat assignment, is a man with dreadlocks and tattoos who is about to become her husband, although neither of them knows this yet. He is a painter. One of the tattoos running down his arm reads, "Rich people are fakers," which is ironic, because he has always secretly wanted to be one. An old man walks out onto the stage. Charcoal suit, blue-tinted glasses. He is in his 80s. In the book, he is called the Spellbinder, and he is the most revered public speaker in the world. He walks slowly because his body is failing, but his voice is still a preacher's voice. He opens his mouth and he says, "Life's too short to play small with your talents." And something in the entrepreneur's chest does a small, unexpected thing. She has trained every soft edge out of herself for 15 years. She does not cry. She does not loosen. And yet, sitting in this dim ballroom, watching a man she has never heard of, something at the back of her throat shifts, and she does not know why. And then the old man begins to cough. Mildly at first, then harder. He pauses. He takes a breath as big as a mountain, and then he goes down on the stage like a boxer in the final round, his glasses coming off, blood starting from where his head hit the floor. A woman in red heels sprints from the wings. Click-clack, click-clack, and she does not make it in time. He does not move. The entrepreneur is sitting in her seat, arms still folded, watching an old man she had never heard of until 3 hours ago almost die in front of her. She came to this seminar planning to end her own life, and the first thing that happens is she watches somebody else run out of time first. And the scared animal part of her, the part that was calmly calculating dosages in a white bedroom 4 hours ago, goes very, very quiet. And while the medics are running onto the stage, a man slides into the empty seat behind her. Torn clothes, scuffed shoes, hair that looks like he cut it himself, but on his left wrist is a watch worth $100,000. He introduces himself, sort of. He talks like a surfer. He tells them he builds companies. He tells them the old man on the stage taught him everything he knows. He hands them a business card with an address on an island in the Indian Ocean and the word come, and then he walks out of the ballroom past the paramedics without looking back. His name, though neither of them knows it yet, is Stone Riley. He is a billionaire, and 3 weeks later, the entrepreneur and the artist are on a private jet to Mauritius because she has not been able to get his face out of her head and because she has not thrown the pills away. What follows in the book is 6 weeks of travel. Mauritius, India, Rome. Riley teaches them what he calls the 4 interior empires, the idea that a human being is not one thing but 4, stacked on top of each other: mind, emotion, body, spirit. And the reason most people who seem to have everything are secretly miserable, Riley says, is that they have spent their entire lives optimizing one of these 4 while letting the other 3 slowly die. The whole self-improvement industry is obsessed with the first one: mindset, mindset, mindset. Every podcast, every book, every seminar, and mindset matters, but a person with a world-class mindset and an empty heart is not a legend. That person is a machine, and machines break. The entrepreneur recognizes herself in this. She has been doing mindset, mindset, mindset for 15 years. She has not touched the other 3. But the center of everything Riley teaches, the one framework this book is famous for, the one you have probably heard some version of before, happens on the Spanish Steps in Rome at 4:50 in the morning. Riley comes up the steps holding an espresso. On the back of his left hand is a temporary tattoo, the kind a kid gets at a birthday party. It reads 20/20/20ths. He sits down on the cold marble and tells them the formula. Now, here is the part of the book most people miss. On the surface, what he is about to describe is a very simple morning routine. 20 minutes of one thing, 20 minutes of another, 20 minutes of a third. It is not a complicated idea. A smart 10-year-old could follow it. But underneath it is a claim about the specific neurobiology of the first hour after you wake up. And if you understand what is actually happening chemically in that hour, you will never check your phone first thing again. The first 20 minutes, Riley says, you move. Not yoga, not stretching, not a walk. I want you to sweat. I want your heart rate past 140. I want you breathing hard because of cortisol. Cortisol, the stress hormone, is not high because you are stressed. Cortisol is highest in every human being within the first 30 to 45 minutes after waking. It's called the cortisol awaking response. It is the reason you feel anxious at 7 a.m. about a meeting that is 8 hours away. It is the reason your phone feels like a punch when you pick it up in bed. You are not soft. Your endocrine system is peaking. And if you check a text message the moment your eyes open, you are stacking whatever emotional weight that message carries on top of a chemistry that is already at red. But if you sweat hard for 20 minutes, the exercise consumes the cortisol. It crashes it. And the chemistry that replaces it is endorphins, dopamine, and a protein called BDNF that the Harvard psychiatrist John Ratey spent 20 years showing actually grows new neurons and repairs the damage stress has done to the ones you already have. Exercise at 5 a.m. is not about being in shape. It is a neurological intervention. You are choosing every morning not to start the day as a hostage to your own endocrine system. The second 20 minutes, Riley says, you reflect. And here, he says, is where almost everyone quits. Because the second 20 minutes looks, on the outside, like doing nothing. You sit, you breathe, you write in a journal, you meditate if that word works for you. You pray if that word works better. You plan the day, not a task list, but the 3 things that, if you did them, would mean the day mattered. The point of the second 20 minutes is not productivity. The point is to put a gap between the person who woke up and the person who will do the day, because most people do not do this. Most people go from asleep to reactive in under 10 minutes. They open their eyes and they are already answering a text somebody sent them at 2 a.m. They hand the sacred first moments of their consciousness to a stranger with a push notification. And they do this every day for 40 years. And then at 55, they wonder why they feel like they never actually lived their life, only processed it. The entrepreneur is not taking notes anymore. She is just listening. The third 20 minutes, Riley says, you grow. A book, an article, a podcast, something that puts an idea in your head that was not there yesterday. 20 minutes a day is 220 hours a year. Most adults read fewer than 4 books a year after they leave school. The top earners in every field, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, Oprah, read closer to 60. The gap is not an intelligence gap. It is a 20-minute gap, repeated. Move, reflect, grow. 60 minutes, between 5 and 6, before the phone, before the email, before anyone else in the world has made a single demand of your attention. The alarm clock, Riley says, is the cheapest part of this. Anyone can set an alarm for 5. What most people cannot do is protect what happens in the hour after it. And the reason they cannot do it is not lack of discipline. It is that they do not yet believe those 60 minutes are worth more than 60 minutes of extra sleep. You are not going to believe it either, Riley says. Not on day 1, not on day 15. You have to do it long enough that your body starts doing it without you. And then one morning, maybe 3 months in, you will wake up at 4:58, 2 minutes before your alarm, and you will feel something you have not felt in years. What? The artist asks. Awake, Riley says. The entrepreneur is sitting on one of the lower steps. She has her elbows on her knees. The sun is starting to catch the yellow face of the church above them. She is thinking about her apartment, 6,000 miles from here, about the bottle of pills still in the cabinet, and about the fact that for the last 6 weeks, traveling with this strange billionaire in his torn clothes, she has not thought about them once. Not because she has become more disciplined, because, for the first time in a very long time, there are 20 minutes of the day that belong to her, and then 20 more, and then 20 more. And this works, she asks, even when everything else in my life is falling apart. This works, Riley says, especially when everything else in your life is falling apart. That's why it exists. 5 years later, the entrepreneur, the woman with no name, the one who stood in the white bedroom over a bottle of pills, rebuilt her company. Her board's coup fell apart, the way a great many board coups do when the founder stops apologizing. She took the company public a second time. She married the artist. She has a son. They named him Stone. She has run 4 marathons. She volunteers at a shelter for homeless people every Tuesday night. And every morning, at 4:58, 2 minutes before her alarm, she wakes up. Not because she is disciplined, because the hour between 5 and 6 is the hour that reminds her every day that she is a person who gets to be alive and who almost wasn't. That is the real answer to the question I asked you at the start. The 5 a.m. Club is not a book about productivity. It is a book about what you do with the life you have been given, and specifically about the 1 hour of each day that can either belong to you or belong to the world. Most people give that hour to the world without thinking. They check their phone before their feet hit the floor. They answer email before they've had water. They spend the sacred first 60 minutes of the day feeding the demands of other people, and by the time they sit down to their own life, there is nothing left. The question I want to leave you with is not whether you are going to wake up at 5 tomorrow. The question is this: when is the last time the first thing you did after waking up was something that belonged to you? Not reacting, not responding, just something small that was yours. If the answer is that you cannot remember, you do not have a discipline problem. You have an hour that has been taken from you slowly, over years, without your permission, and the only person who can give it back is you. Now, this is the short version of the book. I had to cut the ending to fit this in 12 minutes, and honestly, the ending is the part of the book that most people say changed them. There is a scene in the final chapters where the billionaire, who by that point is dying of a terminal illness and has told no one, takes the entrepreneur and the artist to Nelson Mandela's actual prison cell on Robin Island off the coast of Cape Town. And in that cell, smaller than most people's bathrooms, where a man woke up at 5 a.m. every day for 18 years, the old man from the opening, who did not die on the stage, delivers the single line that the whole book has been building toward. It is the line that reframes everything that 2020 is actually for. I could not do that scene justice in the time we had here, but it is the heart of the book, and it is worth hearing. A full deep dive is on my main channel, One Book Away. The link is in the description. If this landed for you, subscribe. Quick book summaries, 2 a week, none of them longer than this one. Take care of your hour.